Hi, and welcome to Jojo's website. This is the site we put together to try and keep people aware of what's going on with her case. And also to try and raise some money. We definitely need some money for this case. We need to get some lawyers, or a lawyer, a good one, because the odds are stacked against Jojo right now. I'm going to do this in segments. This first segment is going to tell you a little bit about what happened when she was arrested. She is innocent of these charges, and I'm pretty sure you'll understand what transpired. It's a twofold, though. Once she was arrested, what our courts have done is criminal. That's what it amounts to. What the courts have done is criminal. It started out with Jojo was a passenger, front side, passenger in a car, and Milt, another friend of hers, was in the back. And Peter was driving. Anyway, but Peter gets pulled over, and the cops start running checks on him and such, and where's your ID and all this. It takes 4 cops to pull over a car nowadays. But but anyway, so they had already looked in Jojo's purse. I mean, there's a lady cop that looked through the window, and Jojo was going through her purse trying to find her ID. There's no problems. But they found out that the gentleman in the back, Milt, he had a warrant. And so when they found the warrant, they said, okay, everybody step out of the car. Now Peter, he's got some priors, and he had apparently had some methamphetamines. We think it was methamphetamine. Some meth on him. And when he got out of the car, as he was getting out, Jojo had already just gotten out, and so her purse was there, and he stuck his stash into her purse along with the pipe, hoping that since they'd already looked in her purse, they wouldn't look it again. And he was wrong. And they did. And so they found methamphetamines in Jojo's purse. So they arrested him all and brought him down to the Phoenix Police substation. And to Pete's credit, he copped to it. He says, the drugs were mine. He says, they weren't Jojo's. And he gave a confession. And it's my understanding that they do record the people that they bring in there under arrest, any statements that they make. But so far, nothing's turned up as far as a recording. But it just so happens that one of the cops of the 4 in on the arrest had kind of taken a liking to Jo, and he had pulled her over just 2 days or 2 nights prior. And he pulled her over just to hit on her. He didn't write her a ticket, didn't do anything of the sort, but he pulled her over, as it happens, right in front of her apartment, right in front of her house. And the neighbors actually got to see this, and so she wasn't real happy about him hitting on her, and he wasn't real happy about her saying no. So he was like, "You're on my list," kind of a thing, and he left. And it was witnessed by neighbors. But it just so happens that he was also in on the arrest. And he was the only one that wrote a police report that we know of. Anyway, he was the only one that filed a report. And he, I guess, wanted to teach her a lesson or something, but he left out Peter's confession in his report. Now, that's not too cool, but things like this happen all the time. Police aren't angels, and we know that. You can look at the rest of the website, you can see that. Arizona arrests a lot of people. Their war on drugs is really serious. And it's just a shame, actually, that some people are in there for minor offenses, it seems like, but they're in prison. They're doing prison time, serious prison time. And that's what they're trying to do to Jojo, scare her. But anyway, so basically, this Jojo complains that, hey, this cop tried to hit on me. He didn't really put it in a report. And I guess they interviewed the cop, and he said, no, I never, I didn't know her. I maybe saw her in the neighborhood and one or something, that kind of a thing. And so they decided to prosecute her. The grand jury got an indictment, and that was in January of 2012. And, we're into 2014 now, and we're getting towards the late of it, so you can tell there's a lot of things that have happened. But she was arraigned around January 12th, and that's when she got her first public, they call them pretenders, and it's a funny thing, ha ha, but not if you've got one, because it shouldn't be a joke, and it is a joke. They either they're just fresh out of college, they don't know what they're doing, and they load them down with more work than they can possibly do. You got to feel bad for them, but you got to feel worse for the people that they're representing. Anyway, so she has one lawyer named Christian, and he shows up at the arraignment, and that's the only time she ever sees him. She never gets to talk to him or anything, and he just disappears. There's no record other than he's at the arraignment of him even being alive. Anyway, so then her second attorney shows up, and that's another lady by the name of Shadi. Anyway, so we'll get into a little bit what happens with the courts, but during that time, that's an important time for gathering evidence. I mean, they should have been talking to his neighbors, for example, to offset the policeman's report that he never had met Jojo before, when he had indeed pulled her over right there. And also, nobody went and looked to see if there was any tape of a recording of the confession that Peter made, and that was left out of the record. And so things like that just didn't get done, and they're supposed to get done. And that's the beginning of her nightmare. And so we'll leave this one at this point. And stage 2, I mean, this is just the beginning of her nightmare. And then you'll see what's going on with our prisons and what's going on with our courts. And it's time that we did something more than just help Jojo. We got to help Jojo. That's true, because she's exactly what's happening and what's wrong with what's going on in Arizona. It's an innocent lady that they decided that they're going to put her in jail no matter what. They're going to put her in prison no matter what. So anyway, feel free to take a look around. By now, or by the time you get this, you should probably be able to see where you can make a donation. I'm going to play a song here, as you can tell. Ta-da! And it's going to be a little bit of a country rap protest song. How's that? That's something interesting. But feel free to buy any songs that you see on here. We're going to try and put some other items on here. Donate if you can donate, because we need a lawyer. And every dime, we promise, will be used on legal fees. Nothing else. As in Arizona, and this is part of the song, in Arizona, they spell justice, M-O-N-E-Y. And when you're out of money, you can kiss justice goodbye. Okay? All right. Thank you.